In the sprawling city of Varenthia, where steel spires kissed the clouds and the neon lights flickered like stars, a single mother named Elara struggled to make ends meet. Her life was a delicate balance between chaos and survival, with bills stacked like unplayed cards, and her daughter, Lily, always asking when they would have enough for the special occasions she dreamed of. Elara worked multiple jobs, her fingers constantly stained with ink from her side hustle as a freelance writer, desperately trying to keep the dreams of a better life alive. One chilly evening, after a long shift at the bookstore, she collapsed into bed with her phone in hand. Distractedly, she typed a message intended for her best friend, Sarah, who had just moved away. "Can't believe we're missing out on pizza night. Wish you were here. Need a miracle." She pressed send, but a fatal slip of her thumb directed the message not to Sarah, but to a number listed as unknown. She didn't think much of it and sank into a dreamless sleep, weary from the grind of life. The next morning, as light filtered through her window, Elara's phone buzzed. When she glanced at the screen, confusion washed over her. The unknown number had replied, "Miracles often come from unexpected places." Curiosity piqued, Elara hesitated before responding. She ended up typing, "Sorry, I think you've got the wrong number." But then, on a whim, she added, "Could always use some miracle magic, though." To her astonishment, Dee replied immediately, "How about a conversation instead? A little chat can spark unexpected miracles." What began as a simple exchange turned into a nightly ritual of texts. Under the pretense of anonymity, Elara found herself confiding in this stranger about her struggles as a single mother, the desperation of her financial situation, and her dreams of a brighter future for Lily. Dee responded with eloquence, sharing his insights, philosophies on life, and tales from his own world, a realm unlike any she had ever known. Luxury, power, and responsibility. Days turned into weeks, and Elara's heart danced between the lines of reality and the fantasy the stranger had woven. In Dee, she found solace and companionship that transcended the walls of her lonely existence. She began to anticipate every message with excitement, her heart racing each time her phone lit up. However, she had no idea that Dee was none other than Diego Blackwood, a billionaire philanthropist known for his unyielding charm and relentless spirit for change. Diego was also hiding his own truth. A recent divorce had left him jaded, craving human connection beyond his glitzy lifestyle. The world viewed him as the untouchable tycoon, an enigma, while deep down he was just a man longing to be truly understood. One fateful evening, as their exchanges deepened, Elara shared a story about Lily's school project. "She wishes she could do this art showcase, but we can't afford the supplies." Every word dripped with longing and heartbreak, and Diego felt an urge to help but was torn between maintaining the boundary of anonymity and the desire to step into her life. Days later, he decided to take a leap of faith. He arranged for a stunning art supply kit to be delivered to Elara's home using an anonymous account. As she unpacked the beautifully wrapped gift, disbelief washed over her. A package with no sender and a note that simply read, "For your little artist to shine, D." Elara felt a strange sense of gratitude, yet a pain in her chest. It was a kindness she longed for, yet now it stung. Who was this D? Fueled by anger and confusion, she texted her unknown friend, demanding to know who he was. Diego took a moment, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Only if you promise to keep an open mind." And with that, he agreed to meet. When they finally came face to face at a local coffee shop, Elara felt a whirlwind of emotions. The man before her, Diego Blackwood, radiated power and confidence, but in his eyes, she saw the depth and kindness she had grown to rely on. As they sat across from one another, she felt her defenses crumbling. "Why help me?" she asked, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. "Because your story resonated in ways I never expected," Diego confessed. "I saw a reflection of my own struggles in your words. And honestly, I needed someone real after losing everything." The air thickened with unspoken tension as they spoke, sharing stories, dreams, and laughter. Elara's heart, once guarded, began to soften as she glimpsed the man behind the wealth. Weeks moved by, and what started as an innocent chat transformed into a deep connection. Diego's life was filled with galas and press conferences, but he carved out moments just for Elara. They visited art galleries, where Lily's work was finally displayed, and Elara felt a surge of hope blossom from the seeds of kindness that Diego had sown. One day, amid the laughter and shared dreams, Diego decided to share more about himself. "I want to invest in something impactful, Elara. Would you consider collaborating on a project aimed at helping single parents like yourself? Finding a way to bridge dreams and reality." Elara's heart raced. The idea of weaving their lives together, her story, his resources, was both intimidating and exhilarating. "I'd love that, but your world, it's so different from mine," she said hesitantly. "That's what makes it perfect. You see the struggle. I see the potential for change. Together, we can create miracles," he encouraged, his eyes alight with enthusiasm. Soon enough, they launched Threshold, a non-profit organization that provided resources and support for single parents to pursue their passions, whether it be art, writing, or entrepreneurship. As they worked together, a bond unfurled between them, rooted in mutual respect and a shared mission. As the organization gained traction, they found themselves entwined in a life filled with purpose but also complexity. Love began to bloom, pure, beautiful, and unexpectedly terrifying for Elara. She stood at the edge of vulnerability, afraid to leap into the unknown, but Diego was steadfast. One starry night, before a presentation to potential investors for Threshold, Elara looked at Diego, feeling her heart pound. "What if this all comes crashing down? What if I'm not enough?" Diego took her hands in his strong presence anchoring her. "You are more than enough, Elara. In your tenacity, I found my purpose. In your dreams, I found my own." With those simple words, he erased her fears. Empowered, they struck gold that night, securing enough funds to make Threshold thrive. But with success came the spotlight, and Elara was thrust into a world she had never known. One that seemed both thrilling and terrifying. Gossip swirled, curious eyes scrutinized her every move, and the weight of judgment loomed large. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked him one evening, her voice a whisper, vulnerability creeping back. "Being with me, this whole mess?" Diego paused, his gaze piercing yet gentle. "Regret? I only regret waiting so long to find someone as incredible as you." With those words, so powerful and sincere, Elara's heart leaped. The fears that once held her captive began to dissolve, replaced by a newfound strength. Together, they navigated the peaks and valleys of life, an inspiring duo championing the voices of the unheard. As months flowed into a year, Threshold flourished, changing countless lives. And so did their relationship, a tempestuous dance of passion, dreams, and unwavering support. The evening that solidified their bond forever came during a gala hosted by none other than Diego himself, honoring the very families they sought to uplift. Dressed in a simple yet elegant gown, Elara stood by Diego's side, eyes shining with pride as they watched the community they had created celebrate their dreams. Under the glittering glow of chandeliers, Diego took a deep breath. "Elara," he said, turning to her with intensity, "you've transformed my life in ways I never dreamed. Will you continue this journey with me? Not just in the organization, but in life?" With tears glistening in her eyes, she knew the answer. "Yes, I will. I am ready for all of it. The dreams, the mess, the love." As they embraced, the crowd erupted in applause, not just for the achievements of Threshold, but for a love story that defied odds, born from a mistaken text but blossoming into a partnership forged in dreams and miracles. Their story became a beacon of hope, a testament to the unpredictability of life and love. In a world where hardships often drown out dreams, Elara and Diego showed that sometimes the greatest miracles come from taking a chance on the connection made when two worlds collide. If you found Elara and Diego's story inspiring, why not share it with a friend who could use a little hope today? Let's spread the message that connections can change lives, and together, we can make miracles happen. Join us in making a difference in your community by supporting those in need, because sometimes a simple act of kindness can spark something extraordinary.